Okay, trying something a little new here. We're going to be going from my point of view, and hopefully this works out okay. The camera's like literally right here. I'm trying for the chest view, but it'd be nice if it was a little bit higher to try to avoid this sun. I was going to sit on the other side of the table so the sun could light up what you're seeing, but I was afraid of glare. So we're just going to go ahead and do it from here. Over here I have my I have my side tone turned down from my side tone, so hopefully this turns out okay. This key is not clicky. It may sound clicky because I'm wearing high quality microphones, and those high quality microphones are due to the supporters of my channel. Thank you, Coffee Crew Coffee Club, who have supported our channel financially. We sure appreciate it. It's not required, but we really appreciate all those that have chosen to donate to us. And it has bought this camera and these wireless mics that I'm using. And we're using a DJI wireless mics along with a DJI Action 4 camera. Now, prior to coming out here, because I know that my cell phone coverage is really bad, I went ahead and I pre-activated on the POTA website. And so let's see if hopefully this is my CQ message in here. Awesome. CQ, POTA, CQ, POTA, P-O-T-A. This is W4EMB. Now hopefully I'll hit the beacon and I'll pop up on the POTA website. I don't know if I'll get the ham alert out here because of the lack of cell phone coverage. But by pre-activating on the POTA website, the beacon should get me and stick me on the POTA website. I just don't have a way to check. The only drawback about being this close to the road is traffic. Hopefully Monday noon it shouldn't be so bad out here, laying between the lakes, the Bison Prairie. And if it's not hitting me on 17, because it is pretty quiet here, I might switch over to 20. Not sure what the band's looking like today. I didn't even look. I think we will go ahead and move on to 20. Listening. One more out there for good measure. Yeah, I don't have a way to check the POTA website at all, but that's okay. It's okay. I put on repeat. Tipped up my keyboard a little bit to eliminate some of the glare that I'm having. Got my Polo app open. Folding keyboard. This is $5 from Aldi's. Pen I stole from the doctor's office. In Texas. Good afternoon. Wisconsin. Sorry there, next customer. Just getting out the other mic in case. Missouri. Got it. Okay. Got something happening here with my logging. So we're going to have to having a key issue here. Yeah. Here, just a second. Okay, that's what I thought it was. Wow, today's just been a weird day. The sun has moved quite a bit. I was in full sun when I started. Was using a whole different key and a different logging method also. Thank you. N3KRX, thank you very much. From Delaware, DE. Nope. There it is. It was that one. Now I get to blow you out of the water. We'll see how it turns out, folks. Oh, I stepped on the tripod. Did I say I stole this from the doctor's office? They gave it to me. W4EMB 2. Hey, all right. Folks, got to tell you something right now that just happened. Matter of fact, we have to turn this down. So, when I started CW, my CW journey, it was I wanted to come out and do a Parks on the Air activation with a tiny radio, 5 watts, a little antenna, and be able to talk all over the place. And we got to Washington, Texas, North Carolina, Alabama with just this setup. That was my goal, was learn Morse code so that I could scale down my equipment, scale down the antennas, scale down the power sources in order to come out here and do this. One trip from the car to the picnic table. As I met that goal, I taught for the group that got me there, which was the Long Island CW Club. If you don't know who they are, look them up. I tried everything under the sun to learn Morse code. The Long Island CW Club and their curriculum taught me Morse code. I stuck with just what they said to do. Use a straight key. Dump all the apps, dump all the decoders, 100%. 100% get rid of decoders. All that stuff, and just use their Morse code practice page, my straight key, and learn my letters. After I learned my letters, and after I got out to go do a POTA, it was such an addictive thing. I just had to keep coming out here. I'm close to my 200th POTA activation now. But the reason I wanted to stop this for a moment is we all remember where we were when something happened. Well, what just happened on this video was I talked in Morse code. And I say that all the time with my Elmer, KM6NN, John Skaggs, was, wow, I just talked in Morse code. And he says, isn't that cool? It is the coolest thing. Put an asterisk there. That was my other Elmer, W7GCY Mark. Anyway, so talking to my Elmer about, I just talked in Morse code. How cool is that? Well, Randy KB4QQJ is an instructor for the Long Island CW Club. And I said, hi Randy, it's nice to hear you. At least I attempted to get that out with all my spacing okay. But I just did it off the cuff and I talked in CW. I heard him flip to the second page because I thought, man, if he answers me, I'm in trouble. But we'll see how it goes. He told me to have fun, and I copied it. And so I said, Roger, 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 fun, to let him know I copied it. We talked in CW. How cool is that? We talked, there we go. we talked in CW. That's what learning all this was about, and it happened today. Again, this isn't my first time that has happened. I just wanted to share that on this video, that you'll remember where you were the first time you talked in CW, where you said something off the cuff, didn't mean to, a person answered you. Now, when you're first doing it, you're only able to do it this long. Your endurance isn't built up yet. And you'll go, okay, QSB, bye-bye. Or you'll say, okay, fine business, 72, did. Because, okay, I'm done. Because you just need to take a break after trying to keep up with it, because it is taxing. But the goal is to make it not taxing and enjoy it. And it is super fun once you get there. If you get there, I want to hear about it in my comments. My email's good on QRZ. If you're watching this video and you're not there, and you're using decoders, you're using other apps, or you're using these other techniques, Long Island CW Club, Morse code practice page, learn your letters. After that, just get on the air. Get on the air. Matter of fact, you should be on the air before you even finish the BC2 carousel. By then, you should know enough of, at least know your call sign, know how to send a 599. Who cares if they're 5.2? Everybody's 5.9, and it's okay. No one cares. Just get on the air. Get your key going. That was an unexpected side chat there. I won't keep this going on too much longer. We've made our activation. I got a couple things I like to talk about, and I don't want the video to wind on for a millennia. Matter of fact, if nobody answers me here, I might just go ahead and go QRT. Oh, I was writing. Okay. All right. I got a little messy in there. What happened was I called back to Randy because he'll often listen. And I know he listens at times because when I finish a POTA, I'll say, you know, QRT or you know, QRT and SK. I mean, I'm finished. And I'll say dit, and I'll go to sign off, and before I can turn off the radio, I'll hear dit, somebody just saying dit. And it's often when I have Randy in the log. So I know he's out there watching. He's one of the instructors at LICW. He got me on the air. He follows along with you. He continues even though you've moved on out of his classes and you're out there doing it. He still follows along with his students. So great follow-up from the LICW team there, Long Island CW Club. Make sure you look them up. So I said KB4QQJ, question mark. And he came back and I said, you know, can you QRT me? And he said again. And he said, Roger, again. And I said, can you QRT me? But I messed up the me. So I said, QRT me. And then he came back with Roger. And I'm like, awesome. And then I said, POTA SITE. You know, this is W4EMB QRT. And I had this KE3Q just, you know, biting at the bit there, chomping at the bit, going, get me first, get me, don't go, get me. So we got you in there, KE3Q. And then NC8I came in there after that. And so pretty scrambled writing. So this is the kind of thing at the end of a POTA that you have to go get straightened out at the end, is take log number 1 off my phone, combine it with this log that I started writing here, and then combine the two, which that's okay. It's no worries. So a lesson learned there is to make sure you have a backup. Make sure you have a backup plan to log. Make sure you just don't call it kaputs if something happens like that, where you have a situation that almost thwarts the plan. Right? Pardon me while I put the other mic away. Hopefully that'll shut off as soon as I shut the lid. These are my DJI Action 2 mics. I'm actually wearing one around my neck on a cord. And again, thank you to my coffee crew and coffee club. It's through your generosity that allowed me to purchase those things. So hopefully I have some good quality sound for you to listen to and a good quality video, besides this being in the video. I brought it around here because it's been a while since I've been on the YouTube. It's been busy at the Bennett house. Not to go down too much of a personal road, but we have an older dog that's really required a lot of our attention here as of late, and it's just been really taxing. And then on top of that, we had this big cold weather that hit everybody, of course. And so yesterday was a 70-degree day. So is today. I'm out here in a t-shirt. But anyway, a couple things that I did want to talk about before I move on. All right, and those things are, make sure that you have some sort of an analyzer with you, okay? When you're out there and you're trying to set up your antenna and trying to get it going, I was out doing POTA yesterday, and 2 gentlemen came out and started doing POTA at the same place. It was nice to meet them. They're Clarksville, Tennessee locals, and they were doing a voice Parks on Air activation. It was Frank, it was his 3rd one, and Chris, I forgot to ask Chris how many he had done, but hello to Frank and Chris, I hope you're watching. And we were trying to adjust, or Frank was trying to adjust his Wolf River coil antenna, and he was making a lot of trips back and forth between the table and the antenna, and checking on the radio and checking on the antenna. If you can, a rig expert. It doesn't have to be a big fancy one. The AA030 will work just fine when you're out there doing HF. The 2 main features I use on this one is the what is my live SWR, like just what's my SWR, and the other one is graph my SWR. And the graph your SWR is great, because if you just tell it a frequency, since I'm Morse code, I tell it 14050. Where am I at? And I hit graph my frequency, please. So when I put 14050, it puts a line, and then when I say graph it, it comes in and goes out like this in a V. Right? And the lowest part of that V is where your lowest SWR is. Well, if that V is to the left of my frequency, then that means I'm a little long. So I can run over there, shorten my whip, say, okay, graph it again, and that V should move over, and that V should move over, until you get that notch right on the frequency that you plan on operating, okay? So that works out very well. So, and it can be rig expert. This is the AA55. It's got a couple more features than the AA30. But they're excellent. If you find one for 150, 200 bucks, I would absolutely get on it, because it's just an invaluable tool. What makes these rig experts awesome is it uses 2 AA batteries. So you can't beat that. My MFJ one, it worked fine, did great for years and years and years. 15 years I used the other one, but it required 12 AA batteries if you're in the field, or a separate 12-volt connection, and it was just this big black, I mean, it was as big as this case. And so that AA, small case, the great screen, the graphing function, I really like that of this one. Another rig expert option, I actually got this one refurbished, and so it wasn't so bad. And I think it was K8MRD at Ham Radio Tube who suggested, if you do have one of these rig expert stick analyzers, to put it in an electric toothbrush case. That works great. And then if you are out here and you have a B&C coax, make sure that you do have an adapter with you. Now in that bag, the previous bag, I had an extra piece of coax and an adapter in that case with the other rig expert. But this is the rig expert stick 230, so it does up to 230 megahertz. The inside of this case is nice and padded, so I can put it screen side down, and then it has the charging cable and something else up in there with it. But I can put it all right here in this case, so thanks to Mike at Ham Radio Tube. That guy is an informative man, makes great videos, very consistent about him putting out his videos. Get over there, tell him Ed sent you, W4EMB. Won't give you anything or anything, but it'd be cool. All right, so the other thing I want to talk about today too is, what didn't mean to this. This key has a little wrench with it, and the wrench it sticks out the back. But it's the Palm Pico, and I tried tightening it up just a little bit so it wasn't so clacky. And by me making adjustments to it, if you go back in the video, if you watch the video, you see how that key failed on me today. Not the key's fault. It's, I tried making it adjust it so it wouldn't be too loud, because it's not as loud as it sounds on my videos. But these microphones are really high quality microphones, and it picks it up quite a bit. All right, so the last thing I'm going to talk about here is the antennas. You saw the Chelegance MC750 antenna that I use. The other antenna that I use is this homemade antenna. I made this out of around 3 or 4 parts. So like I said, this is like close to, if not my 200th activation. And when you do something so many times, you really break it down to what's your great radio, what's a good key, what's a good antenna. And then slender down your equipment, have a spare. K2EJT, he's out there, he always says have a spare. He says have a spare radio, a spare key, a spare antenna. I just happen to have all that. I have a spare key, I do have a spare radio, it's in this bag, and I do have a spare antenna. I have a spare coax. So I have a spare of everything, honestly. But I try to make it as small of a package as possible. But this is a homemade end-fed half-wave, EFHW. So if you're new to the hobby, or you're just new to the term, EFHW, that means end-fed half-wave. So end-fed, that means that right here on the back of this antenna is where I put my coax. And then this wire gets strung up over there somewhere. You could do it a couple ways. You could throw a line up in a tree, hook to this, pull it up in the middle, make a V, hook to the end, make a slope, right? You can have it sloping, or you can do it if you don't have those kind of things around. I have the Soda Beams travel mast. It's very nice. It folds down to 26 inches or so, but it goes up to 33 feet or 32 feet. Inside of here, I have a patented design. You can see this at W4EMB.com. There's no W4EMB.com. It's 2 zip ties. And all I do with those 2 zip ties is when I bring out the tip of my mast, I have a big zip tie and a small zip tie. That really small zip tie, I put it on the end of my mast like this. And on the end of my wire antenna, I have a clip, and I'll clip that to that zip tie. And then I'll start cranking up my antenna, and I'll just lean it against a tree once I have it all extended. If I get hung up, all I have to do is pull down. And if I pull it down and I'm hung up in a tree limb, if this tree limb's up here and I get stuck in it, I just pull. and my mast will come down. Now my wire and my zip tie are up there, okay, but at least I didn't break or bust my mast trying to get it out of there. And it's a zip tie, a real tiny zip tie. Well, they're both the same size zip ties, just one of them's closed up really tightly so that I can just slide it down over the end of the mast, and then the second one. And then once you do get this, I drop a super glue in there to make it not click more shut on you, and carry spare zip ties, and always carry that right there in the top. And the other thing is this, tying that off. It's the devil's in the details about every little thing. This in-fed half wave, we'll talk about it. In the description of my video, you'll find a parts list for this. It consists of a Type 43 toroid, and I'm using a 143/43, and it consists of a 100 picofarad capacitor, and it consists of some magnet wire, and then you wrap this magnet wire in a certain configuration or way to make what's called a 49-to-1 transformer, on whatever the word is there. I'd say 49-to-1 transformer is what I'll call it. And then 70 feet of wire and a wire winder. I'll string it up with 70 feet of wire. I'll grab my analyzer. I'll tell it 7.015. Scan it. And I'll look at the V, and it's going to be way over here. And then I just drop my mast, trim some off, stick it back up, scan again. And I watch that V get closer and closer and closer. All of a sudden, when I get that V on 7.015, I call it a day. At that point, I take, I leave it up in the air, and then I switch over to 14.050 and say, hey, what's my SWR? And it's golden on 14.050. I say, what's it at 21.050? It's golden on 21.050. 28.100, it's golden on 28.100. So I can basically use this antenna on 40, 20, 15, and 10 meters without a tuner at all. The other little thing that I did was, in order to have strain relief, I drilled 3 holes. And I just ran the wire through those 3 holes. Something else I did, I bought 2mm bullet connectors. So I can actually go boop and undo that wire and put on a different wire if I want. So if I wanted to make a wire that's for 30 meters, I could do that. If I want to do one for 17, I could do that. Now do keep in mind 17 meters is a higher frequency, so the wire for an in-fed is going to be really short if you do an in-fed half wave. So why not do an in-fed full wave on 17 meters, just so you get the proper angle when you do set it up. But anyway, the parts for that. And if you go to my QRZ page, in the very top, you'll see Ed's Google Meet link. I did have one of my friends from Long Island CW Club, and also a viewer and a supporter of the channel. He said, Ed, I got the parts. Can we meet on Zoom? Talk me through this. Sure thing, buddy. So we met up on Zoom. I turned the camera down, and we wound the toroid, and from there, everything else was, pretty self-explanatory after that. And he made one. It worked so well for him, he made a second one too. So thanks to KD7DUG. Make sure you go subscribe to his channel. A link is in my description below. Well, now that I've talked your ear off for almost an hour, we'll go ahead and we'll cut this one off, and we'll go ahead and say 73 for now, or 72, because we're QRP. Hello to the traffic there, Game Warden man. Anyway, get out there. Let me know in the comments. Are you out there yet? What's holding you back? What's holding you back? Thanks for watching. I'm at W4EMB. We'll see you next time.